Respectful presences. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Status Quo, Chapter number 12. Creation of the four Kumaras and others. And verse number 19, if someone can share the verse, that's great. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrucha Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jemudirayet Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naestiti. Canto 3, Chapter 12, verse number 19. Tapasaiva param jyotir bhagavantam adokshajam sarvabhuta guhavasam anjasa vindate puman. Tapasaiva param jyotir bhagavantam adokshajam sarvabhuta guhavasam anjasa vindate puman. Tapasaiva param jyotir bhagavantam adokshajam sarvabhuta guhavasam anjasa vindate puman. Tapasaiva param jyotir bhagavantam adokshajam sarvabhuta guhavasam anjasa vindate puman. Tapasaiva param jyotir bhagavantam adokshajam sarvabhuta guhavasam anjasa vindate puman. What word? Tapasa, by penance. Eva, only. Param, the supreme. Jyoti, light. Bhagavantam, unto the personality of Godhead. Adokshajam, he who is beyond the approach of the senses. Sarvabhuta guhavasam, residing in the heart of all living entities. Anjasa, completely. Vindate, can know. Puman, a person. Translation by Javengay says, Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada ki jai. By penance only can one even approach the personality of Godhead, who is within the heart of every living entity and at the same time beyond the reach of all senses. By penance only can one even approach the personality of Godhead, who is within the heart of every living entity and at the same time beyond the reach of all senses. Purport. Rudra by Brahma to perform penance as an example to his sons and followers that penance is necessary for attaining the favor of the Supreme Personality of God. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the common mass of people follow the path shown by Rudra generations and after increase the population asked Rudra to stop producing such an unwanted generation and take to penance for attaining the favor of the Supreme Lord. We find, therefore, in pictures that Rudra is always sitting in meditation for the attainment of the favor of the Lord. The sun tries to stop the business of meditation going on. Is it? My internet is on throughout the class or just started? Let me see. Okay.
Now it's all right.
Change it to Wi-Fi. Should have cell. Okay. Change it to Wi-Fi. Okay. Om Jnanatmirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmelitam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langete girim kripat tamam munde Sri Gurum Devayam Paramanam Damadam Sri Chaitanya वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। Can someone share the link? Someone is asking for the link. Zoom ID is there, but if someone can share the link, post it. So first we'll cover the overview of this chapter so that we will understand a lot of, this is a fully loaded verse. So this chapter, you can see creation of the four Kumaras, it is explained, and others. So there are almost 57 verses. So 1 to 4 is Maitreya's reply, or we can say Lord Brahma's creation of the five nescience elements, ignorance elements, and then 4 kinds of knowledge. So that is the main. And the instruction we can take is one must do whatever it takes to carry out the order, even if it is to do with the dirtiness, dirty activities, work for pleasing the Guru and Lord, even though it may be hard or it may be unliked. We don't want to do some dirty work, especially cleaning the pots, especially when it is cold, snowing outside. We used to do that. And Jay Prakash Prabhu's home behind, we did multiple times. So no one likes to do, but it has to be done. Lord Brahma is ready to do that. Even he had to create all this, Andata Mishra, all this. This is the first section, Maitreya, because Rudra had asked in the Canto 3, Chapter 10, verse number 1 and 10. Both Rudra is asking, can you explain about the creation, describe the eternal time, and also the various how created in detail. So that's why he explained the previous chapter all the time. And then the Vidra is not asking again. But in the beginning itself, Maitreya started explaining about the rest of the creation, how Lord Brahma created different personalities. So that is the first section, 1 to 4, Maitreya's reply. Second section is Lord Brahma speaking to his sons and their response. So as per Lord Brahma created many sons, at least 20 to 30 of them or more. So first 4 Kumaras and Rudras are coming up in this section 5 to 19. And their glorification, glories and activities of Lord, mainly the section 5 to 19 is glories and activities of Lord Brahma's sons, Kumaras and Rudras. So basically, we'll have to the important instruction 5 to 7 is unwillingness. Within that subsection is unwillingness of 4 Kumaras not want to follow because they are attached to Vasudeva Parayana. Because there is no debt. This is talking about one who is surrendered fully to the Supreme Lord. He doesn't have any debt. Father or grandfather, no debt. Devarshnunam, Pitridam, I'm Nature-rajam, Sarvatma, Saranyam, Gatomukam, Parivartagattam. That is the advantage of Vasudeva Parayana. That is subsection 5 to 6. And then Rudras is being talked about 7 to almost 17. Birth of Rudra and Rudra's first progeny and his devastation. He started devastating because that is his job. Blue and red box. Then we see that 18 to 19 is talking about how, correct, penance. These last 2 verses are talking about how auspicious it is penance. And Prabhupada talks about from Bhagavad Gita, 18.5, I think. Ignadana tapakriya, natyajam karyam evatat. Ignadana tapakriya, pavanani manishna. One must do ignan, dana, and tapa. Engage in sacrifices, charity, and austerity. These must not be given up. Prabhupada, we can see Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, has performed even Vivaha Yajna. Everybody was criticizing why sannyasi, why is engaging in performing marriage ceremony. Because that shouldn't be given up, because that is part of the religious path. One who wants to enter Grihastha ashram, they should be allowed. That is, allowed. So that's how Srila Prabhupada, because for the preaching purposes, Srila Prabhupada has done this. So that's what we can see. That is 5 to 19, verse 20 to 27. Maitreya speaking about Lord Brahma's additional sons, 20 sons almost, this Saptarishis and uh, Maricha and religion. Some are produced from body, some are produced from mind. And then 28 to 33, birth of his own daughter, birth of daughter, walk, and his delusion, and giving up the body. That is 28 to 33. That created fog and darkness. This fog and darkness is another reason also. We see coming from Indra. That is explained later on by Srila Prabhupada. When he was cursed, when he engaged in so many activities, he was being cursed. So then I think to relinquish some of his sinful activities, then he distributed that. So in various things. So that one of them is also fog. So again, here also it has been explained how when Lord Brahma gave up the body, that also created fog and darkness. 34 to 35 is a manifestation of things, different things from Lord Brahma, especially Vedas and other things. Four principles of religiosity and duties of four orders, fire sacrifice, paraphernalia. Those are the 34 to 35. And then 36 to 43, Rudra and Maitreya's reply on how Vedas were distributed. Rudra is asking now. You mentioned Vedas. How are they established? How Vedas established the knowledge? That was the question and answer, 36 to 43. And then the 44 to 47 is talking about other manifestations like art, music, science. Everything is coming from the Supreme Lord. You can clearly see here. So we think that we are creating the art, we are creating the music and science, but it's not so. So 48 to 57, Lord Brahma's further creation and increase of population, because he was not satisfied. The enough population is not getting done. So Lord Brahma, that is his job. Then he started creating Swayambhu Manu. From two parts came from his body. One part was Swayambhu Manu, another part was Satarupa. Both got married, and then the whole population we'll see later on. So much more irreligion, sons of irreligion also. We see Damba, cheating, cunning, hell, excessive pain, all these being also coming up from Lord Brahma's as sons and daughters. And that is also being explained later on in Canto 4. Now we'll go delve into the deeper, especially in the previous, as we can see, first understanding is when somebody is having their birthday, this creation is happening. We discussed few classes about the creation, reflection on creation, but about birthday in the Canto 10, Prabhupada gives, I think, chapter number 11 and verse number 18, I believe, where it is explained that on the birthday, one must engage in three things. There is yajna, dana, and tapa. One of these three things are all three. The Lord Krishna has done in his own life, 10, 11, 18. Yajna, dana, 10, 11, 18. Oh, sorry. But, anyway, so I will not quote that verse, but so now that is the first point. Next point is here Lord Shiva has been expansions have been explained. So there are three. I think Mataji covered other day, but we'll come from. So this is because when Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, I think the 49th verse or so, or 14, I think. Anyway, so there Prabhupada explains in the purport that is coming up from Bhagavad Bhagavatamrita from Rupa Goswami, chapter number 2, verse number 31, page 81. Sada Shivakyatan Murti Tamo Gandha Vivarjita Sarva Karana Bhuta Sav Anga Bhuta Swayam Prabho Vayavya Sarva Shivaloke Pradarshita. There is a form called Sadashiva, is completely free from any trace of mode of ignorance. He is the cause of the entire material creation and personal expansion of the body of marginal potency of the Godhead. Personal expansion from the body of original personality of Godhead. Vayu Purana and other scriptures states that he resides in Shivaloka. So there, elaborate description is there. One can read. So where when it is mentioned that, so there are three Lord Shivas category. So first one is Sadashiva, who is situated in Vaikuntha Loka, is almost like Lord Vishnu in that category. So and then his expansion is coming up when Lord Mahavishnu, as per the three Purusha avatars, Karanodakaya Vishnu, wants to create. So at that time, he's sending the glance in terms of time factor. His wife, Ramadevi, that glance is transferred from Lord Vishnu to Shambhu. There is a second expansion of Sadashiva in Vaikuntha Loka, who is not in touch with three modes of material nature. It has nothing to do with the creation. So that he is pure, and there is a spiritual Kailash in there, Mahesh Dham, that is in the there. So then this is spiritual Kailash. Obviously, we have also Kailash here, that is in the material world, because that is to do with the third Shiva or Rudras. The second Shiva is also called Sadashiva, is the Shambhu. Shambhu is in touch with this creation aspect, where the glance is transferred to this Shambhu, and then also glance is transferred through Ramadevi, who is the consort of Vishnu, to this what is it, the wife of either we call Durga, different names are there. So the Shambhu's wife. Then the actual creation has happened. The milk touched with culture and then transformed into yogurt in that same way through them. So Lord Vishnu, Karanodakaya Vishnu is not directly doing this. Indirectly, he is doing the in touch with the creation. But the glance, unless he glances, unless he transfers, this is the power of attorney is being given to Lord Shambhu. That is the second characteristics. So then the third expansion of the Shambhu, of our original Sadashiva, is that the third one is this Lord Shiva being born from Lord Brahma, this 11 Rudras expansion. 11 Rudrani is his wife, and then he's been given other places also: earth, water, fire, ether, sky, and then the moon and sun and other things also it's been explained. So all these are explained here in this Laghu Bhagavata Amrita. But there also, and then Lord Shiva has 5 faces, 3 eyes, and 10 arms. Is explained 11 expansion of Rudras. Adi 6th chapter, Adi Leela Chaitanya Charitamrita, verse number 79. That's where Prabhupada explained in great detail how Advaita Acharya is the glories of Advaita Acharya. Expands is the expansion of incarnation of Sadashiva and Mahavishnu. So in this way, we understand about Lord Shiva's position. So the actual Sadashiva is in Vaikuntha Loka, Shambhu is in charge for the creation, is coming into picture. When it comes to this material world, then this Rudra is coming in. So Rudra is in a category of Jiva Tattva here. And also in sometimes when Lord Brahma and Rudra, correct personality is not there. That means one must engage in 100 lifetimes without any sinful activities. Then he will become Lord Brahma. He will be chosen, qualified to become Lord Brahma. Same way, I don't know the qualification of Lord Rudra here, but Lord Brahma has been explained in other places. So at that time, Lord Vishnu himself will become Lord Brahma. Same way, he will become himself Lord Rudra. That doesn't mean Lord Shiva has become Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. No, that's not so. Because that in the elaborate explanation is being given in this verse number 31 in Laghu Bhagavata Amrita. Because from Vayu Purana and other Puranas, it explains seemingly. But it means that Lord Krishna's expansion and the Narayana, not Narayana's expansion, then Sadashiva is coming. In that way, we have to understand his position. It's not that he's coming from that Swam's expansion of plenary portion of, or expansion of Lord Krishna means that in this case, in that hierarchy, he is coming. It's not directly that he's like Lord Balram is the direct first expansion of Lord Krishna. Lord Shiva is not the first expansion of Lord Krishna. There is no quotation from any Shastra. So that's why we have to understand from Rupa Goswami, so Prabhupada. So then we can understand properly everything in proper context. Next, we also six demigods. Also one instruction also, when Lord Brahma has engaged in this, created order, walk, and then he was in delusion, or whether it's Indra, or when these things happen, we have to be careful not to criticize them, not to, because sometimes they tend to, because they are in charge of these modes, they may, it is to, especially to give instruction for all of us. So one time that's what happened when the Lord Brahma, when he created daughter, he was somehow or the other attracted. And, then he ran behind her daughter. Then 6 of the demigods who criticized with arrogance and criticism of Lord Brahma's action, these demigods, then it created a great offense. Because of that, they were condemned to take birth as sons of demon Hiranyakashipu. This is explained in the Krishna book, chapter number 85. 6 demigods, they are being born. Lord Krishna is explaining to Mother Devaki. Devaki asked, can you bring back, just like you brought Sandeepana Muni, son, dead son, can you bring back the 6 sons? Then he went to Bali Maharaj, Sutala. Then Lord Krishna was talking to Bali Maharaj, and he was explaining how these 6 sons were dead and what was the cause of it. So that's why we shouldn't never take either Indra or Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva or Rudras or anybody, because they are the highly qualified. Power of attorney is being given by Lord Vishnu to do certain tasks. Now, we also see, just like the austerity, tapa is very important. Important principle instructions are coming up. Also, guha vasam is used. Guha vasam is like a cave. Guha means cave. Specifically, that is used because Dharma is very intricate to understand. It's the same way the Supreme Lord, Super Soul is there, but he is very intricate to understand, to get enlightened, to get revelations from Super Soul within, because it must be revealed by his representative, by serving as per the pure devotee of the Lord, spiritual master. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. It is very difficult unless we get from the Mahajanas, bona fide spiritual master. So, valuable jewel or ornament is in a cave. Then you have to approach through someone, so to help to get it. So same way here, Sarvabhauta Bhuvasayam. So Lord is there as Super Soul, but he cannot be revealed. Adoksha also, we cannot understand or reveal with blunt senses. Yes, Parikshit Maharaj could see directly the Supreme Lord. He was protected and he could see the Lord within the heart. He was searching after that Lord when he came out also. In Narada Muni, he could directly hear and get in the same life, especially third life, obviously. And Dhruva Maharaj, so with their perfection, with their path of austerity, that is also coming up. The austerity, Prabhupada explains in Dhruva Maharaj's pastime. When Lord Brahma mentioning about austerity is nothing to do with the material austerity, especially. This is to do with the spiritual perfection. What kind of austerity? We'll come to that in a bit. So there is also pastime in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also. Trita Kupe Vistara Kariyal Darshan Pancha Aparsa Apsara, Tirde Aila, Sachira Nandan. Mahaprabhu went, there was one Rishi called Achyuta Rishi. He was engaged in sacrifices, penances, not sacrifice, penances. He engaged in this tapa, austerity. Then Lord Indra, as usual, he sent 5 Apsaras to come down and basically disturb his penance. So that's what Indra did. These 5 angels came down, 5 Apsaras came down to basically disturb Achyuta Rishi. Then Achyuta Rishi was not disturbed at all, not disturbed. Rather, he could understand the purpose, then immediately he cursed them. He cursed them to become crocodiles in the lake. Then later on, Arjuna came, and when he was visiting holy places, then he understood what has happened. Then basically, by his mercy, then they were able to come back to their original positions. So that's why we have to be careful. Achyuta Rishi was not generally, otherwise we'll see that Vishwamitra and others, or Chayavan Muni and so many others get attracted, agitated, because inside the heart they were not pure. That's why the austerity and penances doesn't purify the actual proclivities within the heart. It can purify sinful activities, some of the sinful, but actual real heart symptoms inside the heart, the characteristics, the consciousness doesn't get purified. So Now let's understand actually what tapasya means. This is important instruction. Please pay attention carefully. Tapasya, T-A-P-A-S-Y-A. There's a nice abbreviation given by one of our wonderful devotee in ISKCON. So the first T means tolerance. One must tolerate the urges of tongue, of body, of mind's demands. One must tolerate the happiness and distress. Don't be blinded by the happiness, seemingly happiness. Tolerate the criticism of others while engaging in the service of the Guru and Sadhu, the Supreme Lord. Tolerate the discomforts, difficulties bound to come. Then only there is a liberation is guaranteed. That is explained again and again by our acharyas. Difficulties will come. There will be discomforts for certain services that you must carry on. So we must tolerate and carry on. This tolerance, this tapasya must be done with the second thing. Tapa, this word, T-A-P-A-S-Y-A, tapasya. First T means tolerance. The second letter A means authority. This must go, very important point. Authority must go with this tapasya. Otherwise, we can see that Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, and so many demons are engaged in tapasya. For what is the purpose? Who has authorized you to do this? What instruction have you received? If you don't receive instruction and you engage in a certain type of austerity, you speculate and do your own things, then the result will be different. So that's why A means authority. Anugatya. Tandera Charana Bhakta Sanavas. One must perform this austerity of waking up early in the morning, austerity to engage in devotional service, practices of devotional service. Starting with Shravanam and Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasam, Sakyam, all this, worshipping the deity, all of this. So this must be done with the authority, under the authority as per the bona fide spiritual master, Diksha Guru. They're following their instruction. Otherwise, we will come up with our own ideas and thoughts and do different austerities. We will not take up services, but we'll ready to do austerity. It's not going to help. That's not going to lead our successful life for path of perfection. That is an important point. Next, P. P means padna or plan or prepare to read every day. So Prabhupada books. Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam has been explained as the torch bearers of a humanity. One must take up these two books in itself is enough to perfect our life, to attain Krishna Prema. So we just need to seriously read, scrutinizingly read, not ordinary reading. Then we have to put that to test, application. Not only reading, but we have to put that to test. Prepare and plan to read every day. And so we must push on this. And then we must also plan to engage in the book distribution. So these are the things. Prachar. So that's what P means, padna, prachar, prepare to read, all these things coming up. Then the A, T means tolerance, A means authority, must go on, anugatya, must go on with the tolerance, whatever austerity we perform. Then the next P is padna, prepare book distribution, prepare to read, doing prachar. Then the next A means alas. One must give up the laziness. One must give up the procrastination, carelessness. We extend one thing to be done, we'll do after 2 months, 3 months. For job, for important things, we'll never do that. But when it comes to service or spiritual activities, we'll neglect. We'll do it some other day. We'll wake up tomorrow. So this is not good. So this must go on. The A. Next, S. S means service, seva. One must take ownership. One must take ownership and responsibility for a given service. Consistently, one must do. Following, Jayananda Prabhu, Prabhupada's disciple. He was always, from morning to evening, first one to get up, last one to sleep, is always in service. From his whole life, he dedicated. That's what Prabhupada said. Yes, he went back to Godhead. We can see from the life itself how a person does it. Then from that itself, we can tell. From the face itself is the index of the mind. From the face itself, we can see. And how he performs, what kind of activities we can see. So that's why it is very important. Seva and service is very important. It cleanses our heart. Then the next why. Why means yajna. Engage in the Sankirtana yajna, chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Then the A, absorption. So, tapasya. Absorption is also very, very important. Otherwise, if there is no absorption, then we will not be able to hear and chant properly. Almost done. So from Dhruva Maharaj's pastime, where Prabhupada is also explained that if we want to be successful in our attempt to go back to Godhead, we must very seriously act according to the instruction of spiritual master. That is the way of perfection. There need be no anxiety over attaining perfection, because if one follows the instruction given by the spiritual master, he is sure to attain perfection. Our only concern should be how to execute the order of spiritual master. A spiritual master is expert in giving special instruction to each of his disciples. And if the disciple execute the order of the spiritual master, that is the way of his perfection. Where this is talking about 4871, about the austerity, how Dhruva Maharaj went to perform the austerity, because authority again. Narada Muni has given that instruction. So that's why he is able to do it. Verse number 72 also, very important instruction is given. It is recommended in Bhagavad Gita that one must accept such as much food as necessary to keep the body fit, but one should not eat for luxury. Dhruva Maharaj is an acharya, and by undergoing severe austerities and penance, he teaches us how one should execute devotion service. We must carefully know the process of Dhruva Maharaj's service, how severely he passed his days will be shown in later work. We should always remember that to become a bona fide devotee of the Lord is not an easy task. But in this age, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, it has been made very easy. But if you do not follow, given the even the liberal instructions of Lord Chaitanya, how can we expect to discharge our regular duties in devotion service? It is not possible in this age to follow Dhruva Maharaj in his austerity. But the principles must be followed. We should not disregard the regulative principles given by our spiritual master, for they make it easier for the conditioned soul. As far as our ISKCON movement is concerned, we simply ask that one must observe the 4 prohibitive rules, chant 16 rounds, and instead of indulging in luxurious eating for the tongue, simply accept prasad offered to the Lord. This does not mean that with our fasting, the Lord should also fast. The Lord should be given foodstuff which is as nice as possible, but we should not make it a point to satisfy our own tongue. As far as possible, we should accept simple foodstuff just to keep the body and soul together, to execute devotional service. Very, very important instruction. Thank you very much for patience. Sorry for going over time. Gandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakti ki jai. Hare Krishna.